Do you have high hopes, dreams, and ambitions, but sometimes find it difficult to buckle down and actually get them done? No worries, because you're going to be talking about how to solve that very problem in this video. Hey guys, I'm Kim, and welcome back to the Higher Vibes Tribe community, where we talk about everything law of attraction, mindset, and becoming your highest self. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can start to create self-discipline. I believe this is one of the most important things in life in regards to pretty much everything. Working on your dreams, excelling at your career, getting your to-do list done, and taking care of yourself all require self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to ignore short-term rewards for that long-term gain. Self-discipline is about being able to control your actions despite whatever is going on around you. Self-discipline is the ability to do things that you know are good for you, even if you don't want to do them in the moment. It's about being able to do what you know is best for you. Obviously, this is important for being able to get anything in life done. It's important for you to be able to achieve your goals and honestly to just feel good about yourself overall. And I really want you to realize that anyone can develop this skill. Oftentimes when we see something we don't have, we think it's unattainable. We put ourselves in a position where it feels like we won't ever be able to have that or be that. People who are self-disciplined aren't extra special or gifted. They simply put in the work to develop this skill, and you can too, if you commit and put in the work. I mean, give yourself a pat on the back. You're here right now watching this video, so you're already on the right track. So with that said, how can we actually do this? But guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, can you please take a second to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification? I would really appreciate it because it would really help me grow and get this message out to as many people as possible. So I think the first thing that you need to do if you're struggling with self-discipline is to figure out what area you're struggling in. Just because you struggle with it in one area doesn't mean that you struggle with it in all areas. So you might actually have more self-discipline than you think. So ask yourself, what area are you struggling in? For some, you might struggle to actually sit down and study. For others, you might be struggling to get to the gym. And for some, you might be struggling to meet those deadlines at work. So once you've identified what area you're struggling in, take a look and see whether or not it's actually a lack of self-discipline that's making you struggle. For example, if you're struggling to meet your deadlines at work, is it really because of a lack of self-discipline, or is it because of a lack of knowledge? If you're struggling to go to the gym, is it really because you want to sit down and watch Netflix, or are you actually a little bit self-conscious about going to the gym? Be honest with yourself and decipher what the actual problem is. But once you have found an area where it is self-discipline that you're struggling with, we can move on to the next step. So figure out your why. Why do you actually even need to do that activity you're struggling to do? Now, this doesn't mean if you don't like the activity, you don't need to do it, but why are you actually doing it? Like for studying, it will obviously help you get your degree, which will help you get your dream job, which will help you live the life that you want, have a family, do whatever you want in life. For working out, you work out because it will help you be healthier, live longer, feel better, feel happier. You really want to understand how doing this activity will benefit you moving forward. Write it down if you have to and come back to it anytime you find yourself struggling. So there are also some habits that you can use to start to develop self-discipline. And don't get discouraged if it's difficult at first. It takes time to change something that we're used to doing, but keep at it because it will get easier. So whenever you find yourself wavering and putting off that task you know that you should be doing, ask yourself, will my future self thank me for what I'm about to do right now? If you put off studying now, will tomorrow you be happy about that? If you don't work out now, will you be happy about that tomorrow? And I also like to think about the benefits and negative consequences for whether I do or don't do this thing. I think if I study now, I won't have to study as much tomorrow or on the weekend. And if I get all my studying done before the weekend, I'll be able to hang out with friends or do other things that I love or just relax. Or I know if I go to the gym today, I'll end up feeling so good because I know that whenever I do have a workout, I end up feeling way better after. I mean, who's actually ever felt worse after having a workout? I mean, if you didn't injure yourself or anything, you know what I'm talking about. And self-discipline helps us build that self-confidence because we know that we can hold ourselves accountable for the goals that we set. And it also kind of helps if we have something to look forward to and reward ourselves a little bit. It's kind of similar to what I just mentioned, like if I study now, then I'll have the weekend free so I can hang out with my friends or do other things that I like to do. But it can even be more short-term than that. Like I personally love to reserve my evenings like after 10 p.m. for doing whatever I want to do. So it's like me time. I can watch a movie, do my skincare routine, whatever I want. But the condition is that I had to have finished all the work that I had planned for that day before I can relax and do whatever I want at 10 p.m. I actually have a whole video on setting goals, which should pop up right here or here, so watch that once you're done watching this video. But yeah, I only reward myself if I get all my work that I had planned for the day done. Or if I don't get it done, I know that I put my best foot forward and tried my best, because sometimes, yeah, shit happens. But don't give in and reward yourself if you know you didn't try your best. This is where that self-discipline comes in. Push yourself not to reward yourself if you know that you didn't give it your best shot. Honestly, you will feel way better when you're relaxing and doing things you love if you don't have this long to-do list looming over your head. And you also don't feel guilty about doing that thing that you want to do, because you know you work so hard and accomplish your goals, so you can just enjoy whatever you're doing. Next, you're gonna want to get rid of all distractions. Don't make it harder for yourself by having those things you want to indulge in plain sight. If you're trying to eat healthier, don't keep your house stocked with junk food. Out of sight, out of mind. Or if you're trying to sit down and study, don't have your phone right beside you the whole time. Try putting it in another room or giving it to someone to hold on to until you're done studying. Figure out what your distractions are and get those things out of your way. What is that thing getting in your way of being disciplined, and put a stop to it, or at least reduce it as much as you can. So the next step is to identify what else is holding you back. Is there anything else besides those simple pleasures that hold you back from being self-disciplined? Is there a larger, more overarching theme? I know that when I don't get enough sleep or drink enough water, I feel a lot more lethargic, unmotivated, and I'm a lot less self-disciplined than I usually am. For me, it's a lot harder to have that mental toughness when I'm exhausted before the day even begins. Other examples of this might be putting off emotional problems or other problems that you have in your life. It's occupying that space in your mind, which you could have used otherwise to be motivated and put that energy towards your to-do list. Or perhaps you've been eating a lot of junk food, which again reduces our mental stamina. Take some time and try to identify if you have these larger overarching themes in your life, and try to get rid of them if you can. I know this is a lot easier said than done, and it may take some time, but the first step is just even being aware that these problems are actually there. Even if you think fixing these things won't make a big difference, just try it out for a week and see what a difference it does make. Like, I personally know what a huge difference sleeping properly makes in my life, but yet I'm still always so surprised when I actually sleep properly for a few days. I'm like, damn, I feel so much better. Another tip is also to plan out your time. I know I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but this is so huge for me. Plan out what your day is going to look like. So not only what time of day you're going to complete your task, but how long you're going to spend on that task. And be realistic here. Don't set 3 hours for something that you know is only going to take 1. And don't set 30 minutes if you know it's going to take you 3 hours. Be realistic. And you know, doing this, one, allows you to mentally prepare for your day ahead. Don't underestimate this part. Like, once you have that time to actually mentally prepare and sit down and be like, okay, I know what I have to do and I'm gonna crush it. And then it's just gonna make you feel more motivated and ready to sit down and actually get that thing done. And secondly, this allows you to focus way more because you've actually set that time aside to work on that thing. You're not just trying to squish it in somewhere. So you really can put in that concentrated effort. Like, okay, for the next hour, I'm gonna sit down and focus on that thing. I have nothing else to do, nothing else planned for this time. I'll feel good getting this done, and if I focus for the next hour, I can relax afterwards. So the next thing that you can do to be more self-disciplined is to create a checklist. I underestimated what a difference this one would have made in my life. I honestly was like, creating a checklist, what difference is it gonna make if I tick off that I did a task? But honestly though, writing down a list of things you want to complete and then actually checking that off allows you to see what effort you put in and shows that you were consistent. Allows you to build that self-confidence and be like, wow, maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I can get these things done. Like, if you want to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, write that down and then check it off each time you get it done. I find that sometimes we tend to minimize our own accomplishments, but if we do this checklist and then we look back and we're like, oh my god, I've already been working out consistently for 2 weeks already and it wasn't even that hard. So it just gives you like a visual representation of all the effort that you've been putting in, and then that will just empower you to keep on going. Like, you don't want to miss a day. And also, if you're on a streak, you won't want to break that streak. I mean, some people got Snapchat streaks, but we got goal streaks here. So yeah guys, the main takeaway I want you guys to have today is to figure out one area that you want to work on. Figure out your why, think about your future self, and start building those consistent habits to prove to yourself that you can do it. And before you know it, you'll be checking off those goals like nothing. Yeah guys, if you found this video at all helpful, please like and subscribe, and as always, until next time, sending good vibes your way.